Hi, Justin here from Combative Edge Martial Arts. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Yes, we are doing another fabulous episode of Lead the Minutes. But I just want to let you know that we now have leadtheminutes.com. Okay, so you can just type that in and it'll take you right to all the episodes of Lead the Minutes. So in case, obviously, if it gets cut off during the feeds of social media, you know where to go. So it's a lot easier. Just go to leadtheminutes.com and you will be set to go. All right? Now, for today's episode, I'm very excited about, we're going to be talking about taking a walk. That's right. I know you're thinking, what are you talking about? What do you mean taking a walk? We will take a walk. But before we talk about taking a walk, I want to first talk about John Gordon. Now, John Gordon wrote a book called The No Complaining Rule. And fabulous book, by the way. I suggest that if you guys want to read a book, it's thin, it's small, it's short, easy to read, and breeze through it in, a day, 2 days, whatever. Read through it and it will open your eyes, okay? And I read this book and I just thought, man, oh man. And in the book, he talks about the complaint train. Everybody's complaining. Everybody's complaining, right? And how many times do you guys complain a day? I'm thinking about looking back. I was like, man, when I read that book, I was like, man, I complain a lot. Like, I didn't realize it. And then that's when it hit me. I always talk about having a positive attitude, right? But you need to have a prerequisite. You need to know how to get to a positive attitude. You can't just have a positive attitude if you're on the complaint train, right? If you're complaining and you're on that train and you're going to wherever you're going with all the other people on that train, you're not going to have a positive attitude. And that's when I realized we have to get off the complaint train and we got to take a walk. And that's what we're going to talk about. And the funny thing is, I remember I'm a generation, right? Generation X. I'm Generation X all the way, right? And so when I was growing up, our means of transportation were skateboarding, biking, rollerblading, and walking. And trust me, I did a lot of walking. I mean, we probably did more walking than, I'll tell you what, we did more walking than any of the generations of today. All you Gen X guys out there, guys and girls out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. These kids today, they just don't understand what walking actually means. We walked for miles. And we were with our friends because that's all there was to do. All we could do was walk. We didn't have what these kids have today. So we had to be outside, otherwise we would be bored out of our minds. You can only watch so much TV. You can only, play a board game so much. So what were we doing? We were outside, walking, getting into trouble, running. It was a great time. It was a great time. You guys know what I'm talking about. So anyways, what came to me was, I was thinking about, when I realized this, it threw me back to my childhood of walking. And, and we did a lot of walking. And this is the prerequisite or the walk to a positive attitude. If that's what you want to think about, you got to walk to the positive attitude. Now you're thinking, Justin, what in the world are you talking about? You lost your mind. No. I haven't lost my mind yet. I don't know. I might. Anyway, I haven't lost my mind yet, but hear me out. So, walk is going to be the play on words. We're going to walk to a positive attitude, right? So we got to get off the complaint train. We got to go Generation X style, Gen X style, walk to wherever we're going, right? So what does that mean? W, wake up with a smile. Wake up with a smile. Every day, wake up with a smile. Do you realize how many people die every day? Do you realize how many people can't get out of bed every day? Do you realize that there are things that people cannot do? Real reasons why they can't get up? And you and me, we can get up out of bed and all of a sudden we're grumpy. Something to think about. What if when you woke up this morning, no, better yet, what if tomorrow is the last morning that you're going to wake up? You think you're going to wake up grumpy, or are you going to be like, boom, your eyes are open and you're like, whoa, I want to savor this moment. Because tomorrow's not going to happen for me, right? We never know when our last time on this planet is going to be. We never know when we're going to go into the next step of life, whatever that may be. But what we can do is wake up every day with a smile and go to bed with a smile, knowing that you get to wake up the next day and, live life. We get so bogged down with rules and regulations and reports and tests and, getting things done and getting to soccer practice that we just forget to take a moment and just be like, I'm happy that I'm awake. I'm happy that I'm actually breathing. I'm happy that I can actually stand and stare at a flower, whatever it may be. But take a moment and allow yourself to wake up with a smile. With a smile. Come on. All right. Try it with me. Come on. Did you know that if you smile for 2 minutes straight, when you're angry or upset, and you just force a smile for 2 minutes straight, it'll crank your endorphins, and then you'll start to feel good. You can trick your body into feeling good. But you got to be in control of your emotions. Important piece. Okay, so we understand the W and walking to walk to a positive attitude. We have to wake up with a smile every day. Have a reason to smile every day. Every day. Okay? Now, A in walk to a positive attitude is what? Accept the responsibility. Accept your responsibility. Take responsibility of everything that happens to you. I mean, everything that happens to you. Good and bad. Now I know exactly what you're thinking. You are thinking the worst case scenario right now. You're thinking, well, all right, I can't take responsibility for this because this person did this to me. You just got yourself on the complaint train. Now, I understand that a lot of people have done wrong to a lot of people. And there are a lot of evil people out there that did a lot of evil things to other people. And I'm asking you to take responsibility of that? Yes, because there's a reason why. The reason why is because when you take responsibility, it gives you the power to change your life. It gives you the power. You come out of the victim mindset, because right now everybody likes to play the victim because it's easy and it's safe and it's warm and other people come around you. That's what they do on the complaint train. They all do that. They all give each other hugs and they sing all kinds of songs on the complaint train, and they talk about their boo-hoos. And they feel bad for each other. But really what you're doing is you're weakening yourself. But if you take responsibility, no matter how bad it is, you take responsibility, you're doing it so that you can give yourself power, so you can empower yourself to make a change in your life so that your life becomes better. And that is the first step off the complaint train. You are now on your feet. You got off the complaint train, you are on your feet, and now you are walking to a positive attitude. Because the only way you can get to a positive attitude is on your feet. That's it. You can't take the train. Because if you take the train, there are going to be a lot of people on that train. They're going to be telling you a lot of garbage that you don't need to hear. They're going to be complaining. Jump off the complaint train. Right? Right off. Head first, tumble, stumble, roll off, hit a tree, whatever. Get up, dust yourself off, wipe off your hat, and start walking. Accept responsibility. Take responsibility for everything that happens to you, good and bad. And when you do that, it gives you power to change your life. If you don't like something that's happening to you, do something about it. Now, don't get me wrong, easier said than done. Nothing in this life is easy. So let's remember that. A lot of people have gone through a lot of dark stuff. I've gone through a lot of dark stuff. I was on the complaint train for a long time until one day I got off and I started walking. It's one reason why I have a positive attitude, because I walk to it. And the more you walk to that positive attitude, the stronger your positive attitude becomes. Okay? So we have to take responsibility. We have to accept responsibility. Now, the next thing we need to do to walk to our positive attitude so that we can stay off the complaint train is look for the positive in life. Always look for the positive in life. Always. No matter what. It's easy to be positive when everything's successful. But when things are not going your way and things aren't happening because of whatever reason, and you start to complain about it, dude, you just got back on the complaint train. Now, let's understand something. If you look for a positive in the negative, what will you find? You will find the lesson that you're supposed to learn. Remember, just today, they may not understand this, but Gen X guys and girls, you know what I'm talking about, right? You remember the time when you walked so far that your feet hurt and your legs were killing you and you were dying to sit down anywhere? And anytime you felt that way, there was never a place to sit and you were thirsty? We were always thirsty, and that's the reason why we found any hose, you would start drinking out of it. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Okay? But we have to look. Okay? We got to look for the lessons. Okay? So it's very, very important to look for the positive. You got to walk to the positive. You got to look for it. Okay, you gotta look for the positive in life. And all the negatives that happen to you, whether they happen to you or because someone else happens to you, you have to look for the positive. Why? Because it will bring the lesson that you're supposed to learn. And now I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking the extreme. You know how I know? It's because I did it too. You're thinking the extreme. You're thinking, oh my goodness, well, what happens if somebody does this and that and really hurts me or takes advantage of me? All that stuff. Yes. Yes. It's wrong. It's terrible. But maybe something comes out of it. I can tell you this. Something very bad happened to me when I was in my younger days, and it was the main reason why I started training martial arts. And now I'm helping a lot of people. So there was a lesson out of that. I started to learn how to defend myself. And I kept on moving forward, and I fell in love with the martial arts, and I loved teaching kids, and I loved doing what I was doing. So there's always a lesson, okay? Even in our darkest hours, there's always a lesson. And the hardest part about all this is taking that lemon, that sour lemon, and making it into lemonade. Finding the sweetness in life to pour into that lemonade, that lemon, right? So you can start to make that lemonade, adding water, creating a new mixture, and then drinking that lemonade. Remember, all great things come from difficulties. If you look at all the people in our history, all great ideas, all great movements were birthed, were born out of a difficult time. They looked for the positive and the negative, and they found the lesson that had to be learned, that had to be taught. I bet if Martin Luther King Jr. was here, I bet he would tell the lessons that he learned. Wouldn't that be cool to sit down with that guy and have a one-on-one conversation with the lessons that he learned through his difficulties? That would be truly something. Or Abraham Lincoln, right? You never know. You never know what you're going to learn until you look for the positive in everything in life, in the success and in the failures, and in the good and in the bad. Always look for the positive. All right, now, so we wake up with a smile. We accept responsibility. We take responsibility. We look for the positive in life always. And the last one is know yourself. You have to know yourself to grow yourself. Okay? You have to know yourself to grow yourself. All right? Know your triggers. Know your triggers. You know what gets under your skin. You know when you're about to start to complain what bothers you. Start there and start to work on not getting on that complain train. Okay? So, taking responsibility allows you the ability to gives you power to take control of your life, so you are able to jump off that complain train, tumble into the ground and pop up and start walking. And when you're walking and you know yourself and you grow yourself, that will prevent you from getting on the complain train when it comes by, because it will always come by. You could be walking in the middle of the woods and you hear the train coming. It'll slow down and the conductor will come out and say, all aboard! All aboard! And people out of nowhere will just start getting on the complaint train because they don't want to walk anymore. Are you going to get on that complaint train? Or are you going to walk with me? And our feet are going to hurt. Our legs are going to hurt. And we're going to be thirsty. I'm going to be walking to that positive attitude. And then you're going to realize the farther we walk, the less our feet hurt, the less our legs hurt, and the less we're thirsty. Because we're changing our mindset. That's the beauty about all this. We want to stay off that complaint train because they're all talking and they're all negative. And the longer you stay on the complaint train, the harder it is to get off. But you can always get off the complaint train, but you have to take responsibility. You have to take responsibility for everything. You have to accept it. Once when you can accept your responsibilities, jumping off the complaint train at full speed is gonna hurt. But once when you're on the ground, and you stand up, and you see me, and I'm like, hey, what's happening? You ready to go for a walk? And we go for a walk. Your body will be hurting at first because you're making a change. It will feel uncomfortable because you're making a change. But as you're walking, you will start to grow as a person, right? You will know yourself to grow yourself. You'll be looking for the positives in life. And then when that complaint train comes barreling through in the middle of the mountains, because you know we got to climb mountains, because life is hard. We talked about that in another session, how life is hard, right? You got to head uphill. Right? We got to head uphill. So there will be a complaint train barreling through, and you'll be thinking, where are these tracks? How is this complaint train coming through here? And you'll hear the guy say, all aboard, and people out of nowhere that you had no idea jump on that complaint train. More people get on the complaint train than people getting off. But the people who make the difference in this world, who make a difference in other people's lives, are the ones who walk. So let's go for a walk. Let's walk to a positive attitude. So that's what this is all about. This is about taking a walk to a positive attitude, because this is what you have to do in order to have a positive attitude. You have to wake up with a smile. You have to take responsibility, so that gives you the power to change your life, to become the person that you want to be. You have to look for the positive in every situation, especially the negative ones. Why? Because that's where the lessons are. That's where the lessons are. And then you gotta what? You gotta know yourself to grow yourself. You gotta walk. You gotta learn about yourself. You gotta know your triggers. What will cause you to complain? What will cause you to get onto that complaint train? You gotta take responsibility for that, and you gotta change it. So when that complaint train comes barreling by, and you're just chugging along, walking, things will start to be different. I'm gonna let you know this right now. In the beginning, it's going to hurt. Your legs will hurt. Your feet will hurt. And you will feel extremely thirsty. But the closer you get, the closer you get to a positive attitude, your feet won't hurt anymore, your legs won't hurt anymore, and you're not thirsty anymore, because you're a stronger person. You're a different person. You're a better person. You are on your way to become the person you are meant to be. Right? Remember, we have to lead the minutes here. We got to learn to lead ourselves before we can lead anybody else. So taking the walk to your positive attitude is going to help you lead yourself, because nobody wants to hear your complaints. Nobody wants to hear that train. Nobody wants to hear that train coming. It's going to come no matter what. But after a while, after you start walking a lot, and you're getting and your positive attitude, and you're walking toward it, all of a sudden that complaint train gets real annoying, and you're like, go, get out of here. And people who complain, you won't want to be around anymore. So this is something that's very, very important. Now, in that book, No Complaining Rule, okay, there's something that he talks about, which I've been doing for some time, and it works for me. Because you're not going to stop complaining right away. And we're going to continue complaining. It's just part of humans. But you want to bring it down as much as possible. So every time you say something like in a complaining manner, think of something positive right off the bat. You know, like, for example, oh man, it's cloudy outside. You know, and then you could be like, but you know what though? If it rains, that would be pretty cool. When spring is coming by, we got some flowers. Be nice. Put a positive on it. So if you say a complaint, put a but and put a positive. You know, or someone says, man, I'm so tired from work. Oh, man. But I am so lucky that I have a job. I am so lucky that I get to pay my bills. I'm so lucky. Be grateful. Be grateful for the things that we have, right? So these are things that you can do to help with understanding how to get rid of that complaint. So put a positive. That's why we have to what? Look at the positive in life. Put a positive spin on everything, even something negative. Look for the lesson. Make lemonade. And you'll be on your way. All right? So, I told you, this is a good one. This is a good one. I like this one. Walk to a positive attitude. This is the prerequisite. This is before you get, this is how you get a positive attitude. You got to walk there. And you got to get off what? You got to get off the complaint train. All right? Justin here from Combative Edge Martial Arts. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lead the Minutes. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.